We are in Portland, getting ready for a great football game tonight between Thornton Academy and Deering High School. This is Friday night, September 4th, and we're going to kick off the football season for 1987 right here and now, and we're going to be right back in a couple of minutes with a couple of guests, and we'll talk football until it's coming out of your ears out there. We'll be right back after this commercial break. We are here in Portland, Deering Thornton. We're getting ready to kick off, as I said, another great season. This is a BT Video sports presentation. My name is Roger Painchaud. My partner for the year is going to be Andy Poirier, as usual. And our guest star for tonight is the redoubtable Gerry Soulard.
Whoa.
Gerry who? All right. And we can't wait to get started. Andy and I are going to be doing this now for our third year, and we're going to keep doing it until we get it right. So we could be at it for about 20 years. And Gerry, how long has it been with you?
This is my 5th year.
And Gerry, as you well know, does most of the Biddeford High games, and he's up here tonight getting a look at both of the teams, but actually I think more of a look at Deering to get a feeling of what they're going to be like, because Biddeford is playing Deering in a couple of weeks. And Gerry, what do you see about Class A this year? It's going to be an exciting change with some new teams coming in and all of that. Your feelings?
The big changes. Teams like Noble and Massabesic could just come into the league, and they're going to find out right off the bat, you know, what Class A football is about. Noble tomorrow will be playing Biddeford at home, and Massabesic opens up the season against Portland. But the realignment is nice now. You've got more teams, no buys. You've got 9-week schedule, 9-game schedule. You've got 4 teams making the playoffs instead of, and it's 4 top teams in the league, where before you've had teams that used to be in divisions that had better records than the teams making the playoffs and didn't make the playoffs. So it's a different year, and the realignment is going to be exciting. I think it's going to be great for the fans. And like, you know, here we are, Labor Day weekend, and we're doing your first game already, and it's going to go all the way to November 21st. Right before Thanksgiving, when the state game is played. So it's going to be a good, long season for high school fans.
Gerry, you do a lot of the Biddeford games. Biddeford looks like a strong contender again this year. I think the Thornton Academy team, defending state champs, they still look like they may have something going for them. Who else do you see in the South, and who do you like up north? You've had a chance to think about it, I'm sure.
Well, familiarized with the northern teams, I'm not, with the exception of Bangor, but Bangor has a good crew of kids coming back from their state championship game team. The Thornton Academy, of course, is a state defending state Class A champions. So, but they've got the quarterback, Peckham back. So Bangor is going to be a legitimate contender up north. Down here, you've got a few teams. South Portland's going to be in the race this year. They've got the Kane, the fullback. They got the quarterback, Cloutier, back. They've got a wide receiver. I can't remember his name right away. That can burn you. Cheverson is one of the top teams in the league. I mean, when you got a Kevin Smith back for his 3rd year, and Greg Perez, and you've got the amount of kids back from that team of last year, who ended up 4-4 for the season, they're going to be strong contenders. Thornton Academy is going to be in it, I think. I think Sanford, Pat Conley's got a good crew of kids down here, and I think they're going to be competitive this summer. I mean, this fall. So it should be interesting.
Hard to say anything about Noble and Massabesic, because we really don't know that much about them. Yeah. That's kind of an advantage in a way for them, isn't it? The opponent knows nothing about these schools coming in. Well,
the rule I've received right now is Noble has 32 players on their roster. They're a small squad. It'll be interesting to see. They've got their fullback, Brown, which is injured right now. He might play tomorrow or not. We're not sure. But they have a kid named Shorey who's supposed to be an outstanding wide receiver that could keep Biddeford on their toes tomorrow. Gene Keene comes into the season, second year as a head coach down at Noble. Comes from the Edward Little system. He's a freshman coach there, so you know he knows something about Class A. Now, if you get these kids up, it could be an interesting game tomorrow. Of course, local press has got to build that a lot different because of the publicity Biddeford received in the Portland Main Sunday Telegram this past Sunday. But it's like Mike had said to his kids, he says, "We're being ranked #1. We still have to earn it."
Still have to play the games every Saturday, right? Thanks, Gerry. Andy, you've looked at the 2 teams that we're going to be seeing tonight. It's great coming off the great season we had last year. You know, we did Thornton and Old Orchard Beach, and we ended up with 2 state champions, and chances of that happening again are probably pretty slim, especially with the way high school sports go. But what do you see about Thornton Academy tonight and Deering?
Okay, both teams coming in to start off the 1987 football season. First thing I'd like to say is to the viewers, we're going to be telecasting all the local football games this year. Gerry is going to be doing half the Thornton Academy schedule, most of the home games. We'll be covering 4 away games, Roger and myself, and we will be doing all the Old Orchard games, home and away, and Gerry will be covering all the home and away Biddeford games. So that should be good news to the viewers and good news for us. We like doing this thing as a nice little hobby, and so I think everybody's going to be pleased with that. A little bit about the game right now. Deering, coming under second-year coach Bill Leroy, comes into this game, I think, a little stronger than last season. They have some people returning with Hank Richards at tailback. He's a very exciting runner, and you're going to see a lot of him, I think, this evening. And he'll be around for next year also. He's only a junior. They've also got some good receivers in Mike Myatt and DeSarno. I think it's Pete DeSarno who will be returning. And the question with Bangor right now, they're saying, is a proven quarterback. You know, if he can get the ball to these guys, you know, they could be in the thick of things. They could keep the secondary of Thornton Academy on their heels. On the other hand, Thornton Academy has lost all its linebackers from last year. Holes you have to fill, and those are tough holes to fill. Also, though, their secondary is back, which is good news also. So health-wise, we go on the Thornton side, and an accident to Jeff Sear, a broken wrist this week, suffered in practice, will keep him sidelined for possibly 3 to 4 weeks. Incidentally, we might have Jeff Sear at halftime. We talked to him before the game, and he might come over to speak to us. But quarterback will be Chris Summer. He's only a junior. He showed very, very strong promise last year. His defense, and even when he got into the game on offense, he was pretty impressive. So we're going to look for good things from him. And also Danny Gamache, one of the captains, exciting punt returner, played tight end. Good defense, led the team in interceptions last year. I think on the line you're going to see a lot of names like Labby, Fournier, and Menard, one of the co-captains. I think those are the people we're going to be, focusing in on. And for filling in for Jeff Sear at fullback is going to be Bill Soucy, who's also a backup quarterback. I think he's going to do a good job. I think he's a strong kid, plays all 3 sports, and he knows how to play the game. And I think you're going to see good things from Bill Soucy.
Well, I think that pretty much sums it up. We're looking for a good game. More than that, we're interested in another great season. Good football. Gerry Soulard over here going to be doing all those Biddeford games. We're going to be, and half of the Thornton schedule, as we said. We'll do the other half of the Thornton schedule, plus the Old Orchard Beach games. The best football in the state is played in York County, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 state champions right out of Biddeford Saco and Old Orchard Beach last year. So.
And Marshwood.
Right.
So we've got them all down here, and I expect that we're probably going to have them all again. We're ready for another great year. We're going to start with this game tonight. We want to thank Andy. Thank you, Gerry. You're all right. And we'll all be back with the kickoff in just a minute. Well, the old Thornton Academy team has just come out on the field getting ready to get going for the opening kickoff. Must be great to be a state champ. Well, those kids probably haven't come down off that cloud that they were on about 10 months ago, I guess it was. It takes a little time to recover from something like that. But it's so difficult to repeat. I'm sure that the TA kids are convinced that they're going to do it, and that's the way you want them to feel, obviously. But historically, in high school football, it's awfully tough, especially in this class, for teams to come back after suffering usually large graduation losses, to think that they're going to be able to do it again. But you can't convince these kids that they're not going to do it again. And of course, Deering squad looking to improve on last year's record, and the prognosis is that they might be able to do just that. This is a team that's certainly going to show a little more offensive spark than they did last year. We named some of the people to look forward to. And of course, the home field advantage certainly helps this Deering team. They're introducing the Deering starters now. It's a beautiful night for Friday, September 4th, as we said. A little chilly, but all in all, not bad. We're sitting on the Deering side of the field, and actually, as we look across, I think there are more people on the Thornton Academy side than there is here on the home field. It's rather strange, but that's the way it is here tonight.
Yeah, there's even some Saco and Biddeford people on this side of the bleachers to try to fill up the Deering side. So Thornton does have a good following, and well, like Roger said, state championship team. We're still on that same cloud. I'm sure I talked to some of the players during the off season and even leading up to this game, and they still think about it, and they're still it's something they're never going to forget. And I think right now we're going to have our national anthem. Oh, say, we're okay. We're all set to go for 1987 action. We want to remind you our cameraman is Gary Savage, and tonight our statistician is Al Coulombe. We've been able to steal the valuable service of Al Coulombe to do the stats tonight. Maybe I can get in my handwriting arrest, because the next day we will be traveling up to be doing the Old Orchard Madison game. Same crew right here, and Biddeford will be entertaining Noble this week, at Noble, excuse me, this weekend. So we're all set to go. The co-captains are out there right now. Danny Gamache, number 80, and Rainey Simard, number 75. DeSarno, number 84, and Art Geikis, number 63. Also co-captains, as Jeff Sear is out there. You see him at center, right at the center of the field right now. He's the one naturally with the cast on his wrist. Jeff is a real instrumental ingredient to this Thornton Academy team. Both on deep, we got a chance to see he's one of the hardest hitters we saw last year on defense for them, and this year he was looking real good as a fullback until he got hurt. But talking to Jeff at halftime, hopefully, and we're all set to go for kickoff action. A play-by-play commentator for the Thornton Golden Trojans is Roger Painchaud.
Thank you, Andy. Yeah, it's too bad for Jeff. He's telling us, he was telling Andy earlier, he figures he's going to be back in 3 weeks. But of course, that could be a little bit of wishful thinking. If a broken bone of any kind usually takes a little bit more than 3 weeks. Of course, he can probably play with some kind of a cast, I'm sure. And as far as he's concerned, the sooner the better. Well, the two teams are coming out on the field. as we said, a relatively sparse crowd here on the home side. A better showing, actually, on the Thornton Academy side. And TA will be kicking off. And we're just about ready to go, guys. Let's have a good one. The deep man for Deering is number 9, Chris Austin. And we're just about ready to go. Bill Poirier gets the kickoff. And the return gets back out to about the 30-yard line. Jeff Steinberg, number 25, bringing the ball out, and we'll spot it right at the 30-yard line. So the first play from scrimmage coming up here as Deering goes on offense, 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. And we're watching Thornton Academy drop back into their defense. Coming out of the I formation. Handoff is inside, a little bit of a hole, not too much. Stacked up after maybe 3 yards. And that looked like Panagakis, number 33, the ball carrier.
Yep, Paul Spirito for Thornton Academy was one of the Thornton people to put the stop on him after he gains about 4 yards. We're opening plays of the first quarter of action. Deering has the ball on the Thornton Academy 33, 34-yard line. We'll call it 33. We have a 2nd down. They're going to call it 6. Just started. Matt Mayette is number 34. He's a receiver to watch, by the way. Gamache will be covering him.
All righty. There are 2 men split down here on this side, and that's where they're looking to go. Now he throws. And that is nearly intercepted. Stepping up in front of that was number 80, Gamache. Quarterback is number 11, Steve McKenzie. McKenzie is a junior, goes about 145 pounds, and he also plays defensive back. Looking for the first completion. Incomplete. We have a 3rd down and 7.
And if you look on the field, McKenzie's biggest problem might be his size. He's only 5'8", and he's going to have a tough time looking over some of the Thornton linemen. Led by number 68, 66 for Thornton Academy, which is Jim Fournier. You're going to hear a lot of Jim this year.
They go into a T with Myatt coming out split wide on the right, and McKenzie running again. Again throws to the flat. And let's see what the ruling is on this one. Out of bounds. So we've got a 4th down coming up. They tried the same play basically twice, and there's nothing there, so we're going to be punting away.
I think what you're going to see is a lot of play action, Hank Richards, and you're going to see, because of the height problem, you're going to see a Doug Flutie type rollout passes from this kid. And also, he looks like he has a lot of speed, and if he can break out into the open field, I'm sure he's going to. Returning to the punt returners will be Thea Redmond and Gain Gamache, 2 very excellent punt returners for Thornton Academy. And here's the kick, and it's not a very deep kick. And they're going to let it roll and hit, and it takes a Thornton bounce, and downing it. Good field position on their own 45-yard line, 44-yard line will be Thornton Academy. So a good, well, a good kick in Thornton's view of it. Not a very good one for Deering. Thornton takes over in good field position.
Punt was good for about 23 yards, Andy. So not exactly what they had in mind. We're going to be looking for some I formation. We're going to be looking for some wishbone. Handoff is inside from Summer. And I didn't catch the number of the running back on the play. Yeah, that's Bill Susi, number 16. It'll take us a little while, gang, you know, to get used to the numbers all over again. Or at least it will for me. I think Andy's done his homework a little better than I have. Or he has a better memory than I have. I'm just getting old, and all those cells in the brain are starting to dry up. We have a second down, make it a 2nd and 8. Summers the quarterback. He's number 12. He's hanging on to the ball, looking for the pitch out, gets it away after nearly going down for a loss, and the play just kind of fizzles out at the 45-yard line. So there's a loss of about a yard in the play, and we've got a 3rd down and 9. And both teams look like they have just a little bit of that opening game, the old opening game jitters.
Well, you can expect, normally in the first game, you'll see a lot of turnovers, a lot of penalties, and usually it's the team that capitalizes, the team that's going to win that first game. As you're going to see Dave Sickard running in motion quite a bit this afternoon. He's number 30, as right now Thayer Redmond is split left, and they're going to look for Redmond, and he catches it and gets away, doesn't get away from his defender, and making a nice tackle for Deering. Is their defensive end. And nice pass by Summers, but Deering defender was right there to put a hold on it. And Redmond and Sickard will be the 2 main receivers for Thornton Academy. And Thornton's line is anchored by Scott Sickard, one of the best in the state, definitely at center.
Well, we've got a 4th down. The pass was complete. He tried a little curl pattern, and good defensive play by the Deering defense. And the ball is away. This is a little better punt now for Thornton Academy. Bobbled, dropped, and let's see. I think the Deering boy fell on it, and he did. And that's back down at about the 20-yard line. That was close. Very, very close. The boy with the problem on that was number 32, Chris Doherty, I believe. We have a 1st and 10 for Deering as they now go into their 2nd offensive series in the 1st quarter, with about 7:57 remaining in this 1st quarter, and they're at their own 20-yard line. Trying to come back with a little reverse action there, trying to cross up the flow of the defense, but Stabinski coming in with a nice tackle and a loss of maybe a yard.
Yes, Lance Lavoie and Derek Stabinski teamed up that time to drop the Deering in their own backfield, so they'll lose a yard. We have about 7:20 to go in this 1st quarter. There was no wind tonight. It's an absolutely very comfortable pre-Labor Day Friday. As we see DeSarno now split out to the right.
McKenzie, now the ball back is to Hank Richards. This is his 1st time with the ball tonight. We expect to hear the name Hank Richards quite a bit this evening. He's probably their top ground gainer and only a junior, I believe. We'll give him about 4 yards. 5 yards maybe on the play. We'll make it down to 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. And looks like another passing situation.
You know, Richards is the type of runner where if you don't hit him at the line of scrimmage, then you're asking for trouble. You've got to stop him. You've got to make the initial hit on Richards, because then you're asking for an open field tackle, and he's very quick in that open field. And I believe the Thornton line will be tested tonight just with Hank Richards out there.
Only a junior, too. They split 2 men to the left, and McKenzie rolls out to that side. There's a lot of room. Now he throws and completes the pass. And that gets the ball out to about the 40-yard line and a little bit beyond for a 1st down. That was Chris Austin, number 9, coming up with the catch on the far side of the field on the Thornton side. We'll move the ball up to about the 43. And maybe closer to the 44, and it's 1st down. Neither team has crossed the 50-yard line yet. Of course, it's very early.
Yes, and we pick up our first down of the ball game, I believe. Deering High does. Matt Myatt is split out to the right, and quarterback McKenzie rolls right again, and being chased by number 71. That's Giuseppe, and being tackled for a nice loss that time. And in on that one was number 66, Jim Fournier, making a nice pursuit of the quarterback and a good surmountable loss. good 6-7 yard loss at least. We'll call it 8. So that'll bring up a second down and 17 yards to go with 6 minutes to go. Good pursuit by Fournier and Giuseppe that time.
Yeah, and Scott Sickard, who busted through originally and forced McKenzie to run a little quicker than he had intended, I believe. Oh, good work by the Thornton defensive line coming up there to cause a 7-yard loss. Richards from the handoff, and he'll get back maybe a couple of those yards, but only back to the 40, and that sets up a third down now and maybe 12. Another passing situation.
Well, you were just talking about numbers and memories a minute ago. I was thinking about Sickard, and I said Giuseppe, number 71. That's who was in pursuit of the quarterback. So my apologies to Mr. Sickard out there for his efforts. It'll be a third down, like Roger said, and they're going to call it 12 from here. 5 minutes and 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. And the young man who caught the pass earlier, number 9, is now split to the right. That's Chris Austin.
Thornton goes into a 4-4-3 at this point, defensively, with 4 linebackers. And McKenzie being rushed again. He's going to just throw the ball away. He had a receiver, Richards, but he really was trying to get unload. Big rush once again on that play by Jim Fournier, and the Thornton defense is starting to make itself felt here, Andy, and I think that's early on the story of the game right now. The Thornton defense pretty much holding and stopping Deering. Only 1 pass completion that we can recall for the first down, and besides that, it's been a difficult operation. Deering forced a punt. Let's see if they improve on the last one. And they do. He gets a fairly good spiral up there. Gamache calls for the fair catch and does so. And we'll bring the ball back down about the 30-yard line, where Thornton can see if they can get their offense in gear.
Okay, Chris Summer leading the troops out. It'll be from the quarterback spot. Roger mentioned with 4:48 to go in the first quarter, no score. Deering's had possession a couple different times, unable to do anything. And Thornton now starts with their second possession. The receivers we mentioned is Dave Sickard to the right and Redmond out to the left, and Bill Soucy's your fullback. Summer hands off to the inside man, and he'll get about 3 yards on the play. 2 or 3 maybe, and getting up from that pile is Bill Soucy, the fullback. So it'll bring up a second down and about 7 as Gamache comes into the game. And we have number 21 coming out of the game. That's Scott Terrell.
Right, we got a gain, we'll say a gain of about, let's make it 6. 2nd and 4. Same 2 men split once again. And Summer hands off inside. It looks like Soucy once more. And close to the first down, he probably has it, in fact. That is Soucy, and it is a first down. So TA picks up its first down of the night. With 3:59 left, let's call a quick timeout for ourselves here for a commercial break, and we'll be right back. We are at Deering. The score is 0-0. Thornton Academy has possession. The defending state Class A champions with a first down. Pitch out. And good defensive play as Scott Terrell was hit after a gain of maybe 2. And he was hit by about 3 Deering defenders.
One of them being number 35, Steve Greer, in to nail him by the Deering sidelines. So it'll bring up a second down with 3:13 to go. We've got to mention our broadcast position tonight. We are in the stands at Deering High School. We are lower than normal for this view. We're getting kind of a lower view of this game, so it's kind of hard for us to call what yardage of the field they're on. Inside handoff, I believe, to Soucy, and he's being gang tackled, but never does go down for probably no gain at all. So it'll bring up a third down, and we'll see if Chris Summer decides to put the ball up into the air.
And one would imagine that he would do just that. Coming in with the play is Scott Terrell. Coach Dick Agresti bringing Terrell in, and then Gamache, and these two are the boys that are carrying the play in from the coach. We have Sickard split out on one side, and Redmond, I assume, on the other side. There's a throw over the middle, and incomplete, intended for Thayer Redmond, just a little high. Always tough going over the middle. Boy coming down there can expect to get hit, whether he catches the ball or not. So why not catch the ball, right? You're going to get hit anyway. And he did. We have a 4th down coming up, and Thornton Academy will be forced to punt once again. And with 2:10 remaining in the first quarter, we're watching a very good defensive struggle here, as neither team has been able to cross the 50-yard line.
That's right, and we got to mention Bill Soucy's the punter, but he's also a backup quarterback and a fullback, and we might see some surprises this year, knowing Dick Agresti from Mr. Soucy. But this time he elects to kick the football. Another good punt. Soucy has done some tremendous punting for the last 2 years. Good tackle by number 33 for Thornton Academy, and that's Sean Willett. Good coverage on the play, keeping Deering inside their own 20-yard line once again. We mentioned, I think we're going to see a few wrinkles this year. Who knows, maybe on a quarterback option, a fullback option or something. But I'm sure that Dick Agresti has that lined up for the year. And once again, Thornton Academy is able to keep Deering starting drive inside the 20-yard line, Raj.
Yep, make it the 19. On first down, the handoff goes to number 33. That's Pete Panagakis. Panagakis will drive past the 20 for about 5 yards, maybe on that. He gets it out to the 24-yard line as he tests the left side of the TA defense. 2nd and 5. Coming in with the play now is Chris Doherty, number 32, as the Deering coaching staff shuffles in halfbacks, bringing the play in from the bench. Number 9, Chris Austin, splits out wide on this side. McKenzie is the quarterback, barking out signals. Right, going with a 2-back set. He throws over the middle to DeSerno, number 84, and he's still moving as he drives up close to the 40-yard line. Peter DeSerno, a senior, 6'1", 175 pounds, really fine tight end and a good defensive end as well.
Yeah, and he also broke about 2 or 3 tackles to get to that point where he is now. Another 5 yards. I know one time he was hit by, I think it was Spirito, number 61, was able to break that. DeSarno played a couple of years ago as a sophomore, as we remember doing a game here. And they tab him as one of their primary receivers, along with Mayat and Austin. It'll be a first with 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. And inside, that's Hank Richards. He breaks one tackle, but then he's stopped at about the 45-yard line. And coming in on that stop is Stabinski, I believe. Jason Lee, number 89, with the stop at the 45-yard line. And we're going to run out of time in this first quarter. But Deering will have the ball in their own 45 with a 2nd down and 5.
And we're counting down the end of the quarter, and that does it. After 1 quarter of play at Deering High Field, our score 0-0 in a real defensive struggle between the Deering Rams and the defending Class A champion Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. We'll be back with quarter number 2 right after this break. Okay, back here for quarter number 2 in our scoreless game. Deering has possession, going in the other direction now. They take over at their own 45-yard line with a 2nd and 5. Big rush on McKenzie. He gets the ball away, but just a little beyond the reach of DeSarno, number 84. And we've got a 3rd and 5.
Yes, and Scott Sickard was on the coverage that time, chasing DeSarno out into the flats here. Our statistician Al Coulomb has filled us in with some early first quarter stats. In that first quarter, Richards was the leading rusher for Deering with, I believe, 16 yards. And Soucy with 16 also for Thornton. Bill Soucy had punted 3 times and he averaged 36 yards a punt. So he's been already forced to punt 3 times in the first quarter. So that is a little bit of a tribute to the Deering defense.
And thanks for the stats, Al. We appreciate it. 3rd down. McKenzie's going to throw again. He's being rushed. He gets it away and almost intercepted. A couple of Thornton boys close there, Susi and Summer, but overthrown. And again, I think McKenzie was throwing in desperation, trying to save his life. Big rush by the Thornton defensive line. Brings up another 4th down and another punting situation. So Deering completes a couple of passes in those early going, but that's about all that they've been able to do. They have not been able to run particularly effectively, and Thornton Academy's offense has also been staggering a bit. Punt is being caught, fair caught by Gamache. TA takes over with field position at their own 33-yard line, and still a long way to go. Quarterback, once again, we want to remind everyone, is number 12, Chris Summer. Coming in with the play is Scott Terrell. He's number 21. He'll slip into the backfield. Splitting out on this side is Dave Sicard. Splitting out on the other side is Thayer Redmond. The 2-back offense behind the quarterback. Handoff is inside to the fullback. And there's no gain as Bill Susi, number 16, gets racked up pretty good. Number 63 is that Art Geikus, and he's in on a lot of plays for Deering. Good defensive line. Both teams featuring good defensive lines here tonight.
Yeah, he's also one of the co-captains for the Deering Rams, coming up on the tackle that time. Deering's defense pretty impressive thus far, holding Thornton Academy at bay. As Thornton gets now a 2nd down with 11 minutes to go in this 2nd quarter. He faked the pitch to Gamache. Gamache breaks a couple tackles, and he's going to be out over the 40 to about the 41-yard line. Good run by Danny Gamache. And one thing that's interesting to note in the first quarter for the first ball game of the year, we have yet to see a penalty flag thrown down, which is a credit to the players and the coaching staff for keeping it clean and being well organized.
Yeah, and that's surprising for a first game. You wouldn't normally expect maybe some procedure call or offside calls or something, and nothing at all. And there's the first flag. Oh, there you go, you jinxed them. Well, let's see what it's all about. Got an offside being called against Deering.
Well, I saw the official look up here as soon as I spoke and just dropped the flag. I think he's calling it on us. 5 yards for exploiting that.
That's right. So Thornton Academy gets his first down thanks to a 5-yard penalty. They'll take those all night. The ball goes out to the 47-yard line. And this is the most offense we've seen from TA this evening. Handoff is to Susi, and he cracks up the middle, gets over the 50-yard line for the first time, and drives down to maybe the 48. And that's just what it is. So we get another 5-yard burst there by Bill Susi. He's the workhorse this evening, plowing his way, usually testing the left side of the line. 2nd and 5. And let's see if TA decides to go to the air in a 2nd down here. They do not. It's Susi again, and just pure power. No finesse here, just pure power. He drives over the 45 and close to the first down. We got a 3rd and 1, Andy.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, and a lot of that strength is running right over Scott Sicard, right up that middle, and doing a fine job. That whole line is doing a fine job right now. Menard also on that line.
They're gonna measure.
Yeah, they're going to measure it, I believe. Well, maybe they won't measure it. Oh, yes, they will. They're bringing out the change now. We're in the 2nd quarter. We have 9:02 to go. There's still no score. This is the first game of the 1987 football season. The Deering Rams in purple, the Thornton maroon with the maroon pants and the white jerseys and the maroon helmets. It is the first down, as you can tell by the Thornton cheers. So the ball is on the 43, and Thornton Academy will get 4 new downs to work with.
Indeed. 8:56 and counting in the second quarter. We're looking at Thayer Redmond split out wide on the right. On a first down. The handoff again is to the power back. And Susi is going to get tired. But he picks up another 3. 2nd and 7, we'll say, as he moves it to the 40-yard line. And definitely the best that the TA offense has looked this evening right now. Of course, if they can maintain this kind of ground attack, it's got to open up the passing lanes, and I'm sure Dick Agresti is well aware of that and is precisely what he's hoping for. So as long as Susi remains successful grinding it out in chunks here, the better it is for the overall offense. And that's Susi once again playing workhorse. He gets down another 3 or 4 yards and sets up a 3rd down and about 3. So they're going to get at least 2 shots at it from this position on the field.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3. Like you said, Bill Susi definitely cannot file a grievance for lack of employment. That's for sure. He's getting his work cut out for him. I'm tired just watching him up here. He's got to be growing. For a guy 3 days ago who was really not their starting fullback, he's been called on to do a lot of the bulk carrying right now. We had a temporary whistle, and we have 7.5 minutes to go on a very comfortable Friday evening. The pitch to Gamache, and he's going to be hit behind the line of scrimmage. And coming up with some hits was DeCerno, was one of them. Also number 7 in there for Deering. That's Mark Giobbi. And Geekus also went on it, number 63, their captain. Probably their best lineman to this point in time.
Terrell comes in off the bench with a play from Dick Agresti, replaces Gamache. We have a 4th down and 4. And one would assume that they're going to probably put it up. Summer calls signals. Hands off inside, and that's got to cross up some folks, but not enough. I don't think it's enough. Yep, that's that. So Deering has stopped the Thornton Academy drive, and a good drive it was for as long as it lasted. At about the 35-yard line, their own 35, and the Rams take over 1st and 10. Well, we have 6:43 remaining here in the first half. Still no score. And the defenses of both teams have been able to rise up when called upon. So McKenzie on 1st down. And there's no place to go on the handoff. 2nd and 10. Stopped right there.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
2nd and 10. The running game of the Rams has been less than exciting. Their only real success has been through the air, and that's only if McKenzie has the time to throw, because the Deering defensive line has been in his face much of the time. Let's see what happens here on a 2nd down. The rush is on, and they try to cross him up, but Hank Richards goes nowhere. Big defensive play once again by a whole host of Thornton defenders. 3rd down.
Yes, Jason Lee and company for Thornton Academy putting a stop on a draw play by McKenzie to Hank Richards, figuring they'll catch the Thornton linebackers maybe sleeping, but they didn't. Good job by the Thornton Academy defense. Both defenses have shown their ability to stop the run this evening. Thornton having a little more success than Deering. That'll bring up a 2nd down. Deering is showing possible pass here with number 9. That's Austin out on the left. And he does go back to pass, and they are looking deep, but they come short, almost intercepted by Gamache, I believe it was, in and out of his hands. The intended receiver was Hank Richards coming out of the backfield. was Jason Lee, number 89, who seems to be on a lot of plays this evening. Very good surprise for the Thornton Academy Trojans, playing a fine ball game. So Jason Lee in and out of the hands right about the 40-yard line. So Deering is forced to punt the football to two of the most exciting punt returners in Class A, Thayer Redmond and Danny Gamache.
And the ball is dead at the 35-yard line as the punt will be coming from that spot, and TA will be looking good field position. This is a nice punt. Redmond has it, makes a move, is looking for his blockers, and breaks down. And he will go down at about his own 30-yard line. We have 4:37 remaining. This looks like a good spot to take a little break, and we will do that. We'll be back with the remainder of the first half right after this commercial message. Well, Andy, it's been a battle, and everybody's waiting for something to happen here, something to break loose, and I haven't seen anything yet that tells me that it's going to break loose. These defenses are very, very strong here tonight. Thornton goes to that old bread and butter handoff to the inside man. It worked so brilliantly for them all last year, and they're doing it again now with Bill Susi carrying the load, and it's good for maybe 2 yards.
Well, if anything, the punting game is getting a workout this evening. Both kickers have to be having arthritis of the foot right about now. And Susi's punted a few times, and now Deering's kicker has kicked. But both punters are getting pretty good hang time, and that's a result of really no returns thus far for neither team of any substantial margin. Good break that time out of the backfield by number 21. That's Terrell. That was the best run, I believe, of the evening, and they'll gain about 9 yards on the play. And a timeout by the officials is called. I think they want to measure it. From this angle, it doesn't look like he has it.
I think so. No, I tend to agree, but we'll measure it anyway. We have 3:29 left, and the TA offense will have to wait a minute here as they measure. Nah, just a little short. Make about a foot. So we have third down and a foot. Let's see what TA decides to do. I'm going to predict that Bill Susi gets the ball and hits the left side of the line. Right. Redmond splits out on this side, but look for the first back through. And that, of course, is Susi. And there it is. And he's got a nice hole. You know, you got to laugh at that, because here he's been hitting that line all night long whenever. And now on a play, when everybody knows he's going to be hitting that line, he bounces out for 5 yards. I don't know.
No, it's not the fact that Deering didn't know he was coming with the ball. It's the fact that the Thornton line opened up a hole enough, and Susi's aggressive running style attributed him to gain that 5 or 6 yards. So first down for Thornton Academy in their own 43. We're approaching the 3-minute mark to go in the second quarter of action. We still have no score. Summer is the quarterback. Long count. Now he hands off to the second back through. And another good gain that time. We're going to call it a gain of about 7 yards on the play. Getting up from the pack is Terrell. So Terrell's had a couple nice nifty runs of 9 and 7 on his last 2 running plays. Bill Susi, by the way, is up around the 61-yard mark.
Okay, I like Terrell. He gets off the mark very, very quickly. He hits the hole while it's still there before it stops up. Nice running by young Mr. Terrell. Second down. This time it'll be Susi driving for the first down. And I think he's come up a little short. But the ball is over the 50-yard line, and once again it's Thornton Academy getting into Ram territory. It looks like a 4th down coming up, or shouldn't that be 3rd down? Yes, 3rd down in a short yard. Susi has been the mainstay of the offense. And we're going to see if the call is to him once again to get this 1 yard. Why not, right? There may be some procedure. Look like people had jumped, but there's no flag.
Looked like the left side of the Thornton line had moved, and the Deering coach is screaming out in the field. I think he saw what everybody else saw, but the officials didn't call it, so it's a first down, Thornton Academy. With 1:34 to go. No call, so first down for Thornton Academy. They keep their drive alive, and they're in Deering territory, Raj.
They are for the second time and looking good. We have 1:19 left, however, so time has become a very important factor here in this first half. Summer looking to throw long. He's got Redmond and just overthrows him. Well, that's what you try to do, is what we were talking about earlier. You pound away at that line all night, and eventually you hope that something opens up and you can free somebody like a Thayer Redmond or a Sickard or someone of that stripe to get down there and pick up a quick six. And had it not been just barely overthrown, TA would have had 6 because Redmond had his man beat by a couple of steps. Second down and 10.
Yeah, I was just about to say that sooner or later they're going to have to start putting the ball up. We're down to about 1:09 to go, and our statistician just told us that they had 16 running plays in a row before that pass was thrown. You know that another pass has to be coming soon. Summers, the quarterback, it's a second down and 10, and he goes back. There's a long pass. Wide open is, I believe, is a Danny Gamache, number 80. Danny Gamache. Big play, Thornton Academy. I'm not sure from this angle if it was Gamache now or not.
It looked like Gamache to me. I was watching Summer. He got blindsided after he Gonville. Okay, Tom Gonville. Tom Gonville, number 88, 88 and 80. These numbers can look a little bit alike, especially from the distance that we're at. And that was in the far corner from our position here in the stands. So Gonville makes a fine catch, and the passing game finally opens up the way we suspected that it might. And TA has the ball with a first down on practically on the goal line, I would guess. Time is out. We have 1:02 remaining in the first half. You know, I was watching the play, and I was watching quarterback Summer, and he got blindsided after he threw that ball. And I never watched the pass.
Yeah, and that was a 38-yard reception from Summers to a streaking Gonville. Like Roger said, from this angle, it's really tough picking up some of these 80 numbers, and you figure Gamache is in the lineup.
Yeah.
But well, our apologies to Gonville. Fine catch also by Gonville. As we see some motion by Dave Sickard now. The handoff is up the middle, and I believe it's close to the goal line. Gain of probably about 2 or 3 on that one. Up right around the goal line. So that'll bring up a second down and goal from inside probably the 1-yard line.
We're getting very little help from the clock. The only thing that's really working is the numbers as far as the time is concerned, but there's nothing to indicate how many yards or where we are or how far we are from the goal or any of that sort of thing. So it's pretty much our guess. We're looking at, as we said, a long, difficult angle, and we're just guessing along with you as to where the ball actually is placed. But we know we're close to the goal line, and we've got a second down coming up with 43 seconds left. Another timeout has been called, and Deering people are coming off the field now as they get set up to try to put up some kind of a stand here, prevent Thornton from getting first blood in this game. Well, I think we can expect Susie up the middle a couple more times, right?
I think you're reading my mind. I think the Deering players and the viewers and the Thornton crowd, I think everybody knows it right now. Usually when you're inside this close with 43 seconds to go. You don't want to get too fancy. You want to run your power back right up the middle. And we're going to see if they go with that. Susi lines up as the first man in, I believe, being the fullback.
He is. A little motion to draw some people away, and the second back goes through, and he is very close. Is that Terrell? I think it is. That's going to be... It's going to be close. Time is running down. We're down to 27 seconds and counting. They called 2 plays. And they're running the second one now. They're awfully close. Now Susi hits a wall. And we've got a pitch out. I called Susi. I blew that play. The pitch out was to the other side. And it may have been Terrell. But that Thayer Redmond, number 22, gets the ball and goes in. Well, they faked me out completely. Thornton Academy scores for the first points of the 1987 season and pick up a 6-0 lead here with 11 seconds left in the first half.
Okay, 11-0, and doing the kicking will be, for the extra point, is Chris Summer, and the hole will be Thayer Redmond. So the first 6 points of the season belong to the Golden Trojans, and the kick is off to the left. No good. So with 11 seconds to go until halftime, the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans 6 on a Thayer Redmond 1-yard sweep, and the Deering High Rams nothing. And both teams come up the field for the kickoff. You can bet maybe even an onside kick at this point.
Yeah, it's possible. Why not? 11 seconds left. You're not going to give them too much. Well, the TA offense took a little bit of time getting itself on track, but in the second quarter, it started to show some potential. And after grinding it out and grinding it out and grinding it out, they finally went to the air, and there it was. And the points came.
And I believe 22 out of the last 26 plays were also running plays. But that long pass is what really broke the ice for them. Nice pass from Summers to Gonville. It's nice to know that he come up with another receiver besides maybe looking for a sick out in Redmond, as Gonville with a nice catch in that second quarter.
And the punt is a bit of a, kickoff's a bit of a squibbler. It's still rolling around out there, and now it's finally down with 7 seconds left. So we'll look for one long pass to end the half, probably. Ball is pretty far back there, down around the 20-yard line or so.
And as the game has started and progressed, so we have now a timeout by Deering on the field. Maybe they'll call 1 or 2 quick, some long passes. But if we look around at the crowd, and the crowd is starting to fill up a little bit. We see a lot of people from the surrounding area starting to come in. Some of the sidelines on the far side are starting to fill out. But there's for Friday night, September 4th, you got to remember a lot of schools really aren't in session right about now, as we kick this thing off before Labor Day this year, which is very unusual that you're going to see that happen in Class A, especially. So with we see 1 second on the clock. I don't know if they waited that long to call timeout or if there's an error on the clock. But Deering's called timeout because they do want one play.
Yeah, and they're going to get it. And the TA drops a couple of people very deep. And they're going to give them anything underneath and prevent them from going too long. And here's the last play of the half. And McKenzie simply puts his knee down and says, "That's enough, boys. Let's head for the locker room and talk this over a little bit." So our first half comes to a close, and it's a good defensive struggle, as we said, with Thornton Academy breaking the ice at the very end of the second quarter. And after the first half of play here at Deering, our score is TA 6 and Deering nothing. And Andy and I will be back in a couple of minutes with a little bit of halftime chatter and some stats for you right after these commercial messages. The halftime show tonight is being brought to you by Menard's Oil Burner Service. We invite you to call them at 283-3363 or look for Menard's in the Yellow Pages. They've been a loyal sponsor of ours and for BT Video Sports for a number of years, and we thank them very much for joining us once again, as well as all of the other sponsors that have jumped on board for high school sports for the 1987 season. Standing with us tonight is a young gentleman who looks worse than we do, thank God. Unfortunately, suffering with a broken wrist. I'm going to pass it over to Andy. And Andy, how about talking to this young man here?
Okay, Jeff, thanks a lot for coming out. I know it's tough for you to be standing out here instead of being out in the football field. Remember the last time we spoke to you was, I believe, at the state championship game last year, and you guys were really celebrating. So from one extreme to the other, you were celebrating state championship. Now you have to be on the sideline. Explain a little bit what happened, when you broke it, and exactly what happened. What were the circumstances around it?
Okay, well, for one thing, it's not a broken wrist. It's a dislocated elbow. Okay. Yeah, I was running with the ball with my left hand. Was getting tackled, went down for balance. Before I knew it, I was in some pain.
Yeah. Did you realize when it happened that you said, oh no, this could be a while now?
Oh yeah, I thought, and once I got to the hospital, they were telling me that I was out for the season, and I thought, I was all done. I wasn't too happy about it, but.
Okay, so basically you've seen a doctor for it now, and you are seeing a specialist, I would imagine. And any prognosis on, like, maybe your return or any anticipated on the earliest time?
Yep, he said the earliest, if everything goes really great and I can get it moving really soon, the earliest would be 2 weeks in Chevrolet, if I can get a brace for it, and hopefully by then I should be all set.
Yeah, well, that's the minimum. We don't want to hurt this thing more than what it is now. We know you're an important factor to this team, defensively and offensively, and I see Bill Soucy doing a pretty good job tonight out there at fullback. I know Bill that's really not his position, but he's doing a good job. Let's focus in a little bit on the team, maybe practice-wise. Do you see a difference a little bit from this year's team, or is the enthusiasm still there like last year?
Well, yeah, the enthusiasm is still there. We're working hard, and the line's starting to pull through. Defense is impressive, just like today. They were looking very good tonight, and I think we'll do pretty good this year.
Okay, your views a little bit on the Nobles and the Massabesics in your league. You looking forward to playing these teams? Do you think it'll be good for their schools? Or?
Well, yeah, we're looking forward to playing them. We're not going to overlook them. Yeah. And, when the time comes, Massabesic and Noble, it's time to play Massabesic and Noble. So, they're just like any Class A team. Looking forward to play.
How about from what you've seen in the first half so far, your views of the first half? What do you think you're doing maybe right or wrong, or something you could brush up on from a player's point of view?
Well, first half, defense is looking good, and the offense is starting to move the ball, and second half they should move the ball more.
Very good. Jeff, thanks a bunch for coming over. We appreciate it. After looking at the first half, you're saying you think what do you see offensively that the Thornton Academy might be doing that we haven't seen yet?
Well, I have no idea. Once the line starts hitting and once they stop moving, everything starts going up, just like I said, we're always a second half team.
Apparently, we're going to have to take a break. We'll be back in just a second. Back. And we're getting ready to start the second half at Deering's Memorial Field, with Thornton Academy holding a 6-0 lead. As we said during our halftime show, it's been pretty much of a ground-gaining, run of the ball down your throat type of offense that Thornton has thrown at Deering. And when that caught their attention enough to keep the linebackers honest, Thornton Academy was able to go over the top with the pass and drive the ball down close enough for the eventual score, and the only score in the game. And now, of course, the second half comes up, and we'll see what kind of adjustments both of these teams are going to make. If Deering wants to get back into this thing and have a chance of pulling it out, they're going to have to diversify the offense, and they're certainly going to have to be able to be more successful on the ground than they have been up to this point. For Thornton Academy, I guess you don't fix it if it ain't broke. Susi with the ball on the kickoff return, and he gets a nice return, getting the ball out to about the 43-yard line. And that's good field position for Thornton Academy to start the second half.
Yes, it is. Good start for Thornton Academy. Bill Susi with about a 15, 20-yard run from the kickoff. Ball marked at about the 43. I look for Deering to come out in the second half, maybe throw the football a little more to DeSarno, and they haven't really gone to one of their top receivers yet, Myatt. We'll have to keep an eye on that. As Thornton now has the football, maybe they'll open things up a little bit. Terrell has been pretty impressive up the middle. Runs for another maybe 7 yards on the play. He's close to the midfield stripe, about 48. Gain of about 5 or 6 yards, second down and 4. Terrell's looked pretty sharp up the middle. So good duo with Susi and Terrell running up the middle. I'm sure he's a pleasant surprise tonight.
Oh, definitely. As I said before, he hits the hole so quickly. I would compare him, of course, only a high school player, but Joe Morris of the Giants has that same ability of getting the ball and getting to the hole very, very quickly before it closes down, and he's gone before the defense has a chance to even adjust. And Terrell seems to do that very nicely. We have a first down here as TA grounds one out, and we've moved the ball up to over the 50-yard line and into Deering territory. So first and 10 for Thornton Academy as they get a good field position and a good opportunity to get things rolling here early in the second half. Summer is the quarterback, and he's handing off to Susi, who hits that left side again. Boy, he loves that left side. Good hard work by Bill Susi as he goes for another good gain here of about 8 yards. Second and 2, and the Thornton Academy has a bit of a drive going very early, Andy.
Yeah, you can see they're starting to open it up a little more. The ground game is really coming along for them now. And we're in the third quarter. We said Thornton's up 6-0. We got to mention some of the people on that line doing a fine job for Thornton Academy. Not just Sickard and Menard, but Scott Newman's in that lineup. He's also one of the linemen. As a pitch out goes to Terrell to the left side, and I believe he'll get a first down. Good gain that time. Another one to mention is number 72. I believe that is Giuseppe, also on the line. Those line people, very, very important. 73 is Rainey Menard, the co-captain for, Jason Turgeon, 73. 75 is Menard.
And the ball is down to about the 34-yard line. And the handoff is to the I-back again, and that time it looked like Gamache. And it is. That's Danny Gamache, and he picks up some nice yards. So we're seeing some nice running here from the entire backfield here in the second half. And that's the adjustment maybe that Dick Agresti decided to go with. More handoffs to the second back through Terrell, Gamache, and the offense is rolling here. Second down, inside this time, and again some yards. This is Susi, and he stopped up. We'll have a third down in about maybe 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards. And I'm going to climb up a little higher here to get a better view of what's happening if I can. We have third down in about 1 yard, I'd say. Let's see what happens here on this next play, and then we'll shift position. Crowd is starting to filter in front of us, and we're having to adjust. Everybody's making adjustments here at halftime, including the broadcasters. That looks like a keeper by Summer. He just follows his center. And he gets the first down. Okay, we have a first down, and we're going to move up a little higher here. We're going to get up in this, the rarefied atmosphere of Gerry Soulard, who's standing next to me. He breathes all the good air, doesn't leave anything for the rest of us.
Don't get any sickness up here.
Okay, I'll be careful. First down. And Terrell hits the line for a little gain this time, a couple of yards maybe.
Yeah, we finally get a broadcaster's view of this game for the first time this evening. We mentioned we're getting a lot of different looks as we've seen Gamache carry the ball, Terrell. The touchdown was scored by number 22, Redmond. Susie, of course, has been doing the bulk of the carrying. So Summers decided to call his own number a few minutes ago. We have 7:40 to go in the third quarter. 6-0 Thornton, and they are driving deep into Deering territory as Sickard now goes in motion. And Summers with the option. He might go in, but he's stopped at about the 7-yard line. Good tackle that time by number 22. That's David Dill putting a stop. Otherwise, Summers had another 6 points for Thornton Academy. So the ball will be around the 8-yard line. And we have a timeout, officials timeout. Well, the second time Thornton Academy's been deep down this end of the field. The first time they scored on a Thea Redmond sweep to the left. And now we're in the third quarter. Thornton has controlled this football since the opening kickoff, Raj. They've grounded out almost 5 minutes on this drive. And they are still rolling.
It's the one thing that Deering just couldn't afford to have happen to them, and it's happening right now. Deering had to come out, quickly take control of the ball, and make those adjustments in their offense. And I think they had to score very quickly to get back into this thing. The one thing they didn't need was exactly what's going on here. TA getting a good field position following the kickoff and being able to grind the ball out as well as they have. And hold the ball for the past 5 minutes, and now in a scoring situation or threatening to score, could be very, very difficult for Deering to climb out of this hole if Thornton Academy scores here, and they may very well do just that. TA very confident. They're playing confidently here in this third quarter. The jitters are gone. You can see this team is coming together, and it's a good team, a really good team. Nice defensive stand here. DeSarno coming up and stopping Susie, and there's a loss in the play. Not as big a loss as one would imagine. It's going to be a fourth down. 4th and 4, and we're on about the, I'm going to call it about the 13-yard line. It would look like the 8 at first, but again, it's a difficult angle when we look at it again. We'll say about the 13-yard line. Big fourth down here for Thornton Academy. Sickard in motion. Pitch out. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. Good defensive stand here by Deering when they needed it. But Thornton Academy took up a lot of time. We got the clock down to 6 minutes and 19 seconds. Left here in the third quarter, and before Deering takes over, we're going to take this opportunity for a short pause, and we'll be right back after this commercial break. Okay, Andy, it looks like Deering has finally managed to stop the Thornton drive, and now let's see what they do on offense.
Yeah, Blackner was in on that stop for Deering. Good pursuit, read the play very well, got Gamache for a loss, and Deering, as their coaching staff would like to say it, have stopped the Thornton drive and now can instill a drive of their own here, deep in Thornton Academy's territory. The ball, we're going to call it about the 14-yard line of Thornton Academy. And this is the first possession of the second half for Deering Rams, so we'll see what kind of a look they come out with as Austin comes out wide left. I expect that they might throw the ball a little more if they do get it this half.
Yeah, I think you're right. The handoff went to number 33, but it's all being called back because of a whistle. The ball carrier was Panagakis, number 33, but flag was thrown. It's against Deering. And now we'll see if the Thornton Academy will take the 5 yards and offside against Deering. So we'll make it first down again in 15. Just short of 6 minutes left in the third quarter. First and 15, and it makes the hole a little bigger.
Yeah, it does. And down this end of the field, you really don't want to throw the football unless they're really forced to. And we'll have to see if they do stick with the running game down this end of the field till they do dig themselves out of some kind of a hole as the handoff is inside. And very little yardage. The Thornton Academy front line doing a very, very good job in there. We see Jason Lee getting out up out of that crowd. Number 89. He's played a very fine ball game thus far. You know, Raj, we have to pick our 11th player award this evening. And the 11th player, I believe, does not really mean the most valuable player. It just means somebody who's performed above and beyond his expectations. So it's going to be a tough choice. We still have plenty of time to go. We still have 17 minutes to go in this game, barring any overtime.
Yeah, we've got to start thinking about it, though, don't we? You're right. And there have been a couple of people that we've been calling that are a little unexpected, let's say. McKenzie hands off inside, and again, there's just nowhere to go. The Deering offense has absolutely stopped dead of the line, and it's been dead of the line all night long. That was Hank Richards getting practically nothing. It sets up a third down and 11. So on 2 running plays, Deering manages 4 yards in an area where they absolutely have to be able to get out of there, because if they're forced to punt down here, they're just going to be handing Thornton Academy the ball again in excellent field position for the Academy, and they certainly don't want that to happen. So Deering has got to come up with something spectacular pretty soon. We're down to 4:20, and it's not getting any earlier.
This would be a good time now for McKenzie to air this one out to either DeSarno or Austin, because it'd be no worse than really a punt, and that's what he's going to do.
He's going to do it, and he's got a man, and it's intercepted. That's Summer. He's looking for some blocking. He's got it on the other side, cuts back, fumbles, and let's see where it goes. Deering has recovered. How about that, boys and girls? Great interception by Summer. He timed it perfectly, stepped in front of the man, and it looked for a moment that he might be able to pick up some blockers and go. And then the fumble comes up, and Deering picks the ball up. And with all of that, I believe Deering ends up with a first down.
Well, Deering's best offense was Thornton's defense that time. Summers comes up with the big catch, and a nifty bit of running by Summers, really crisscrossing the field there. But one mistake too many, and Deering's back in business, and we're going to see how this affects the Deering Rams and the Thornton Trojans here, as that seems to have given them a little bit of a lift.
Yeah, but do you throw now when the last time you got yourself intercepted and there's a flag going down?
Well, what you do is you keep throwing till Thornton keeps fumbling back to you. See?
And eventually you score, right?
That may be McKenzie's best receiver tonight. Maybe Summers. And I believe we have a fumble. Thornton Academy comes up with the ball. We're waiting for a... Yes, it is. And now the... little bit of a stalemate on the football field. Nobody seemed to... You know, there was a lack of excitement on the Thornton side at first. You'd think with the ball deep in that territory when there was a fumble, everybody would be going wild. So we really didn't see it from this angle. And Thornton comes up with... so now Deering makes the turnover, and Thornton comes up with it.
It is strange. But TA does have the ball, and they have it very, very deep. We're down around the 15-yard line, I'm guessing, but it looks like about the 15. And Terrell is the ball carrier. A delayed handoff from Summer. Little gain, if any. Let's see where they spot it. They're going to pick up a couple of yards. Let's say, well, about a yard. 2nd and 9, so Terrell gets 1. Get it down there a little closer. Time continues to tick off with 2:50 remaining now in the third quarter. And Thornton maintains its 6-0 lead. And again, they have an excellent opportunity here to pile it on a little bit. and get some insurance points. Summer on a keeper. He's got a hole, and he's going to go. No flags. Touchdown, Chris Summer.
Chris Summer with the second Thornton touchdown of the evening. Had David Dill's chin strap hanging on about the 10-yard line as he made a move to Dill, and Dill was left with his head in the dirt, and Summers was in pay dirt. So a nifty move by Chris Summer for the second score, and it is now 12-0 Thornton Academy with 2:31 to go in the third quarter of play. Talk about somebody being faked out. Dill is still probably wondering what's happening on the sideline.
Yeah, interesting switch of things down there in that series with the interception, the fumble, and then Deering fumbling again, and Thornton still coming up with the ball, and finally Summer, who fumbled originally, scores a touchdown. So I guess it all works out in the end. They're going to run for the 2, throw for it, but it's overthrown. Intended for Thayer Redmond. Incomplete, so the 2-point conversion fails. However, Thornton Academy has picked up another 6 and now leads this game 12-0. And as we said earlier, this is certainly not what Deering had in mind. They could not afford to have another 6 points racked up against them at this stage of the game. The TA defense is strong, and Deering has to do something to compensate for that. So far, they have not shown us that they are able to compensate for that very stingy Thornton defense. And these 6 points added to the original lead may very well be putting this game out of reach. I realize we have another quarter to play, but just one person's point of view. And we're getting ready for the kickoff. Austin is the deep man, number 9 for Deering. And Bill Poirier is doing the kicking. That's a nice kick, and Austin does not field it. And the ball is finally stopped inside the 30, the Deering 30, at about the 28 or so.
I believe the kicker stopped him, Bill Poirier. Also number 45 for Thornton Academy, and that's Lance Lavoie, who's been in on some special teams work tonight. So a good kick by Bill Poirier. And Thornton Academy, Deering Rams take the ball at about their own 26-yard line. Now they're in a position where with 2:10 to go in the third quarter, being down 12-0, maybe you will see more throwing than we have been. But we have a pitch out, and we have a fumble in the backfield. And Lavoie right there to pounce on the man. Yeah, Panagakis with the pitch and the fumble. Fournier was also in that backfield quicker than I think Panagakis was. So it's a loss of a couple of 3 yards, maybe. Second down and 13. And Thornton's offense and defense is really, you can see it starting to blossom up already in this third quarter of play. And they're really impressive thus far. As they're going to be hard to throw against, I think, this year.
There's no doubt about it. They're going to be hard to run against, too. That's a nice defensive line. Good-looking football team early in the season. Nice catch by DeSerno. And then a fumble. And wait a minute, I think they're calling the play dead where DeSarno went down. But we'll let the referee make the call, and we'll just bring it to you. But it was a beautiful catch by DeSarno, and that's what the call is. DeSarno was ruled down before the ball squirted away from him. And it is a first down, and at long last, I should say, for Deering, as they bring the ball out to their own 44-yard line.
Well, if we can get a shot of Dick Agresti, he was just going wild on that sideline a few minutes ago. And by rights, did from this point of view look like a fumble, but the officials ruled it wasn't, so that's the way it stands. And it's a first down. DeSarno, I believe, is the only receiver to catch a McKenzie pass. He's caught 2 of them, and they were pretty good catches up the middle. He's been playing since his sophomore year, and he's sure to get a lot of action this fall. Big boy, it's about 6'2", number 84. He's a senior.
Yeah, big boy, and looks like a talented boy. Handoff, Richards finds a little hole and squeaks through for a good gain. Again, you can't give that boy too much space, or he'll fill it up for you really quick. Looks like about 8-yard gain on that play, and the ball is over the 50-yard line down to the 47 of Thornton Academy, and unless I'm mistaken, I think this is the first time that Deering has crossed the 50-yard line tonight. And the clock is running down here as we're running out of time in the third quarter. We're down to about 20 seconds. There'll be a time enough to get the next play off, and maybe another one after that, depending on what this play happens to be. McKenzie looking to throw. He's being rushed. Gets it away. Incomplete, intended for DeSarno, and he was really rushed. Beautiful rush in there by Paul Spirito and Scott Newman, and they were in McKenzie's face. 8 seconds left in the half, Andy.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job of really pressuring the quarterback this evening by that line of Thornton Academy, and that's forcing McKenzie to get off some very erratic passes at times. That time he made a smart play of maybe just throwing the football away. 8 seconds to go, as Roger mentioned. And still it's a third down, and we're going to call it about 2 yards. They are in Thornton territory. We're going to call it the 48-yard line. They have to go to about the 46 for a first down. And McKenzie calling signals up the middle. First down, and little more. He's still going and break a couple tackles. And to the 33-yard line. That's an outstanding run by Panagakis, and he is hurt right now. There's a good run, and he's beginning to be the flashing halfback. Everybody's had a lot of talk about Hank Richards, but he's done a fine job in that backfield. He's broke a couple runs for them, and it looked like maybe a pulled hamstring or something. It's like some kind of a, could be an ankle, or we'll just hope that he's okay.
You hate that when they start looking at knees and hamstrings, and that can be very bad. Let's hope it isn't. Nice run by the kid.
Yeah, with 1 second also to go in the third quarter. Almost broke that one all the way. Took 2 or 3 Thornton tacklers to get him down at about the 32, 33-yard line. Is still attending to the young man. We mentioned the score is 12-0. First score coming, I believe, in the second quarter. And the second score coming in on a Chris Summer option run to make it 12-0.
And I may be getting ready to take my foot out of my mouth. I was saying earlier that this game was probably in the bag after that Thornton score, and now Deering comes to life with a good passing attack, and now a fine run by Panagakis, who's still down, by the way. And but the Deering offense is on the move. They've driven down now to about the 33-yard line, the Thornton 33-yard line. By far their best field position of the night, and they are now in that part of the field where you go, you take advantage of all 4 downs rather than three downs and punt. We're still waiting to see the story on the young man that's down. And they are looking at his left leg, I believe. Or is it his right leg? His right leg, now that they've rolled him over. And the officials are looking at him as well, waiting to see just what's going to happen. We have 1 second left in the third quarter.
Chance maybe to talk about the upcoming TV games. I think it's a good spot for it while they attend to the Deering injured player. As we are speaking, this same weekend we will be at Madison High School. We may get there by plane. Some of these Old Orchard away games are going to be a distance away. But we will be there covering Old Orchard and Madison, a repeat of that state championship game last year. You can be sure that Madison is going to have their sights set on some revenge, and Old Orchard trying to keep their status as defending champions. Should be a good ball game, and stay tuned for that one, please. And Thornton Academy, as we mentioned with Deering tonight, Next week, Thornton Academy, please come out and see them and support them. They're at home at Hill Stadium. They will be facing Edward Little as they come in to invade Thornton Academy. Gerry Soulard will be the commentator for that game, because we will be in Old Orchard Beach the same afternoon for Dover Foxcroft at Old Orchard Beach. We will have that game on TV. A first look at Dover Foxcroft and our second look at Old Orchard then. So it's going to be a good year. We're going to see a lot of ball games this fall, and we're looking forward to it. The young man's been helped off, been carried off the field. That's the ball carrier, and they're just going to finish the quarter there. And after 3 quarters of play, the score is Thornton Academy 12, Deering nothing. And here's a good spot for a break, and we're going to come back for the 4th quarter of action. We'll be back after this message.
Yeah, we're going to be starting the 4th quarter here in just a couple of seconds. As Andy was saying, we'll be doing the whole Old Orchard Beach schedule this year. We've got all their games plus a bunch of Thornton games. We were very lucky, of course, last year. You know, we had 2 undefeated teams. And TA and Seagulls both went on to state championships. And a rare occasion, certainly, for the local area to come up with 2 championships in the same year. And we had the good fortune of being along with both of those teams for all of those games. And it was a lot of fun. I know we had a lot of fun. We got into some interesting situations last season. Broadcast, telecast from some strange positions. But we weren't always able to bring every portion of the game, too, with cameras bumping into sides of buildings and various other things, and people walking in front of us, over us, through us. But I guess that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about for us, anyway. Okay, let's see what Deering can do here on this good-looking drive that they've got going as we start the 4th quarter with the Trojans up by a score of 12-0. Well, it looks like McKenzie's going to throw. He's being rushed again, and boy, that rush is something. That rush is something. Sickard is in his face, and McKenzie is just throwing to a spot and hoping that somebody gets there, and there was nobody there. So we've got a 2nd down and 10.
Also accompanying Mr. Sickard in that backfield was Gary Labby, number 62, another senior, 5'11", 215. Good, solid ball player. You're going to hear a lot of good things from Fournier, Sickard, and Labby on that line. They do a tremendous job. And it comes down to a 2nd down and 10 for the Deering Rams.
2nd and 10. And nice hole up the middle. Nice hole up the middle. And we'll pick up a few yards, and now a late flag comes down. That could be some kind of a roughing call. And it looks like it's against Newman of Thornton Academy. At least the official is pointing directly at him, so I'll assume that's who it is. The gain was for about 6 by Hank Richards, and now we're going to be tacking a penalty onto that, I'm sure. The ball currently sits at about the 26-yard line. Make it about the 27, I guess, and let's see where this takes us. Yeah, it's some kind of a personal foul. And we're going to step it off, and it's going to be a big one. This is not going to help the TA cause, as the ball is spotted down close to the 10-yard line. Public address announcer says the 15. I think we're inside the 15. Not that I care to argue, but it looks like we're a little bit inside the 15-yard line, so folks can take it from there. But let's say about the 13-yard line or so, the 1st down.
And you know, we still have 11.5 minutes to go in this game. We still have a lot of time. A lot of things can happen in high school football. We've seen some strange things in our telecast. There's another strange thing. Quarterback fumble. And making a tackle, I believe, is Labby, right on the nose, being the nose guard on that one. So they waste a play that time. It becomes 2nd down. This McKenzie is a junior, and I understand that there's a pretty good junior class at Deering. This team should be a team to be reckoned with possibly next year. They have some players coming back. He's a very small quarterback at 5'8", but he seems to have some speed with him, and all he needs, I would imagine, some experience, some game experience, and that'll happen as the year goes on.
Oh, sure. DeSarno has just come back into the ball game, and let's see if they go to him on this next play. Second down. The throw over the middle and complete to DeSarno. And very close to the first down. And oh boy, it looks like he did get the first down. And if so, it's going to be first and goal with maybe 2 or 3 yards to go.
Well, maybe this year you'll become the prophet, Raj, as you call that one, right? As Susie in on the tackle. Bill Susie stopping him just short of the goal line, I believe. They're going to be very close to that goal line from... Okay, we're on about the 5, I believe.
DeSarno comes out, and Marston goes back in, and we're on the 4-yard line according to the public address, and we're getting a measurement anyway. I've just been watching them moving plays in and out, and they're now bringing them in with the tight ends from the Deering side, and more often than not, when DeSarno comes in with a play, it's very often or has been on this drive anyway, a pass play to him. So when I saw him coming back in, I just assumed that on a second down and 10 that going over the middle might not be a bad idea, and that's what they did. But with Marston now in the ball game, I'm going to look for a running play here on this first down, which they just did pick up. We're going to say 1st and 4.
Well, there you go. Now the Thornton line is going to be tested for sure, as Myatt goes out to the right, and that's Austin to the left, but look for some running plays, I believe, inside. First down and 4 to go. DeSarno has been their top receiver with about 3 receptions thus far. And McKenzie calling signals to the second back through, and there's a fumble in the backfield. And it'll be Deering's football, so that's the second time in the last this series of plays down here that they've coughed up the football, but have been able to pounce on it.
McKenzie was trying to hand off to Richards on that play, and it just never happened. Now DeSarno comes back in with a play. Marston comes out. We have 10 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Plenty of time, and we have a second down. And after that fumble loss, there's a, well, we'll say about, what would you say, 7 yards maybe? Something like that. Hard to say from this angle once again. McKenzie calls signals, drops back to throw, throws over the middle, and it could be intercepted. No, dropped. But that was Summers almost coming up with the play, and DeSarno stays in. I believe he was again the intended receiver on that play. We've got a 3rd down. Deering takes time out as McKenzie comes to the sidelines to get some feedback from his coach. And when he goes back out there, it'll be a 3rd down and about 7 yards to go for the touchdown. Again, our score is 12-0. Thornton Academy holding on to a lead that they've had since the 2nd quarter. Control of the game has been pretty much in the Academy's hands tonight. Now Deering has moved themselves into a position to threaten. They've gotten as close as the 4, have now been pushed back to the 7. And with 9 minutes and 34 seconds to go, well, that's where we sit. The Thornton defensive line has been very impressive tonight. They've rushed McKenzie consistently on passing plays, and they've been generally stingy against the run as well. Let's see what happens here on a 3rd down. McKenzie has 2 men split to the left. He hands inside, and that is stopped on a beautiful defensive play by Lance Lavoie, number 45. And he grabbed Richards before Richards moved an inch.
Also, Stabinski moved in also to waltz with the Deering player, taking him down for no gain. And that'll bring up a 4th down. Here's a chance for Deering to do something and to get a touchdown close. As we have DeSarno coming into the lineup. And I would think, Raj, if they're going to throw the football, and I wouldn't be surprised right here if they did it. Again, look for DeSarno out of the tight end position to come out.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be, I'm looking definitely for DeSarno, and he's rolling out to this side. He's looking for somebody. He's finding no one. He's going to try to run it in, and he's driven out of bounds, short of the goal line, maybe about the 2 or 3 yard line. And Thornton Academy has come up with the defense to stop this whole thing. And he was looking for DeSarno, but right, Andy caught him slipping and falling in the end zone, and that was the end of that. At that point, McKenzie had no choice but to try to run and try to get to the corner. He just didn't get there. So TA has stopped this Deering drive, and they will be taking over 1st and 10 at their own 3 or 4 yard line. As they come out of the huddle, we're watching young Mr. Panagakis being moved out from the field.
Fumble.
Now they're calling fumble. Yes, there is. Fumble by Thornton Academy. And Deering has gotten the ball back. Well, what can I say?
Well, I think the first half we talked about the mistake-free ball game, and now it's beginning to show a little more. This half, both teams seem to be coughing up the football. And Deering gets the football back. It's the second fumble of recent by Thornton Academy. And here we go again, Deering with the football. 8.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. McKenzie calling plays. He has Austin to the right and Mayat to the left. And they go up the middle, and the Thornton line is right there to plug things up once again. Yeah, Chris Doherty in on the stop at the line.
Doherty had no place to go as he ran into a solid wall. Solid wall. Thornton is just not going to give them anything here. 2nd down, and we're calling it at the 5 yard line now, so 2nd and 5, goal to go. Yeah. And they pop out. Now they split the backs. They split their receivers wide. Austin is split out on this side. The pitch out to Doherty again. He's got the hole, and he's got the corner, and he's in for the touchdown. Number 32, Chris Doherty. That was a nice play as they showed a different look that time. And Doherty was able to find the corner and cut back inside and go in for the touchdown. So now it's 12-6 with 7:32 left, and we've got a very important conversion coming up.
Yeah, Doherty's kind of filling the shoes of Panagakis right now, who's still laying out on the bench being attended to, who won't see any more action, I believe, this evening. Doherty takes it in, and like Roger said, it was a different look because they've been basically going up the middle and trying the same thing and failing all night long. And that time they had a little wrinkle there where it went out to the left and found a nice hole and to go on the scoreboard. And now we'll have the attempted conversion. It is 12-6. The score comes up 7:32 to go in the 4th. And the kick is blocked by Thornton Academy, and it's a dead ball. As Lavoie, I believe, was one of the guys in there. And Lavoie's played a very good ball game, too. It's going to be a tough one picking this one. But first of all, the most important thing is Thornton's now only leading by 6 points. And by the mistakes and the turnovers we've seen, this game is still opening up for grabs, Raj.
Yeah, and I'm feeling more sorry all the time. I called Thornton an easy winner about 7 or 8 minutes ago, and now it's a 12-6 game, and anything can happen. But that's high school football, and it's good football.
You know, I was talking the other day with Jack Troll of Orchard Beach. We talked about the season, how important playing mistake-free football was the first game, especially because he mentioned that he had played a couple games against Jay to open things up, the past 2 years, and he said that the team that capitalized on the other team's mistakes is the teams that won. Well, if you notice, both teams have now scored on their last 2 mistakes. Thornton scored on Deering's, and now Thornton fumbling the ball to Deering. Now Deering, so, it's going to be interesting to see if we see any more mistakes now for the last 7 minutes and 32 seconds.
Good point. Well, we've got a kickoff coming up, and Thornton now having to do a couple of things. Score, of course, would be terrific, obviously, but even good control of the ball for the next 7 minutes would be probably just as good. Chris Summer with the return, short return, he'll get the ball back out to close to the 30-yard line. And that's where we'll spot it, at the 30. And let's see what TA decides to do offensively. I would assume they're going to hold it to the ground and use up some clock here as it continues to tick away. We're down to 7:13 and counting. The I backfield. And that, I believe, is Terrell, the second back through. Hey, he's had a good game tonight. I've liked his work, and he's been impressive. He picks up only a couple on that play, however, and it gets us to a 2nd down and 8 with the ball now at the Thornton Academy 32-yard line. Should TA not be successful in this attempt and be forced to punt, Deering will have plenty of time, obviously, to generate a little bit of offense themselves. So this one is not over yet, and we've got some very key plays, I'm sure, still to come. Sicard in motion. Summer throws. He has a man. There, Redmond fell, got up, and the ball just fell off his fingertips.
He did. He had Redmond wide open out there. Redmond just fell down and got back up, and he was one knee away, it looked like, from getting back up, and if he could have just kept his balance for another split second, he could have come up with that one. He was gone, definitely. That momentum would have just drove him to the end zone. So it's 3rd down and 9, 6:17 to go. This is a big play basically for both teams, but especially Deering if they want to get that football back.
Yeah, that incomplete pass stopped the clock, so now this 3rd down becomes very big, and a big run off the handoff, and that's Susi picking up some good yardage, but it'll not be enough for the 1st down, and Thornton Academy will be forced to punt as the punting team comes on, and Deering has this new life. We're looking at a 4th down with about 3 yards to go. The ball is at the Thornton Academy 38. And the average, we're told, on Susi's punts tonight has been 36 yards. A 36, a 40-yarder here would be welcome, I'm sure. And he gets off a nice one. Oh, he gets off a nice spiral. That is fielded and being run back very nicely. He's got a hold. He's got some blocking. Look out. Now he's corralled and brought down, but inside the 50-yard line at the Thornton Academy 45. And that's a big, big break, a big move for Deering. Puts them in excellent field position here with 5:31 left. And hang on, boys and girls. This one isn't over yet.
Definitely. Since that Thornton fumble, Deering just picked up some momentum, and you can see it right out there. It's showing up on the field. Deering has their offense in gear right now. They're on the Thornton Academy 45-yard line also. We're a little over 5 minutes to go in this one. And Deering takes over. As McKenzie calls the signals now. He goes back, but he hands off to Richards. Richards makes a couple nice cuts inside, and he's going to get close to 10 yards. Be very close to a 1st down. Maybe give him 8 or 9. It'll be a 2nd down, and like I told you, the adrenaline's funny. You know, high school football is something else. It seems to run on emotions, Raj.
Oh, absolutely. That's what's one of the things that you love about this game, these great emotional swings, one way and then the other, and these boys just going from the height of you know, to total despair. Okay, we've got a 2nd down and 1. Handoff inside, Richards again, and he's got the 1st down. That's a big 1st down as we see the clock continue to run. We're down to 4 minutes and 19 seconds, and there's a timeout being called. We have an injured player, and that stops the clock at 4:19. Yeah, that's right. Andy just said there's a rescue unit down here on the sidelines taking Panagakis off the field, and Maybe he'd better stay here and do double duty. Let's hope not. But the Deering boy is down. Well, we're going to have a first down when we get back to action here. The ball is now at about the 35-yard line. Inside the 35, we'll make it the 34, and Deering has got it rolling.
Okay, maybe it's a good spot for us to take our fourth quarter break right now while we have an injury timeout on the field. So we'll be right back for the remainder of this fourth quarter right after this commercial. Okay, we're back. The injured player who we have no number for, or no name on the roster, is number 73. Even the public announcer says does not appear in the program. He's the Deering public announcer. And that's Richards. He's getting away. He might go. He needs another block, but they get him on a big run, and now we have a flag, and that was on tackle by Bill Susi. And we have a flag also, but this one's coming back. This one's against Deering, and that might be a holding penalty. It usually is on a play like that. So that's going to nullify a big, big game. Okay, a clip. Same thing, it's a 15-yarder anyways. Big play that time because they would have been around inside the 20-yard line. But instead, this one's coming back. Takes away a nice Hank Richards run. And that's going to take away some momentum. That's what it's going to do.
Yeah, Richards had gotten down to about the 10-yard line on that, and then the clip was called, and it all comes back. It is assessed from the point of the foul, so 15 yards from where the clip occurred. And as Andy just said, that is a momentum breaker. There's no doubt about it. The ball is brought back to the 33-yard line, and we've got a second down from that position. 3:50 remaining now in the game, 3:48, counting down. Richards again is the ball carrier. He's got all the speed in the world, but he's collared this time and stopped for a short gain. Nice defensive play by Lance Lavoie, number 45 once again. And that name has come up a couple of times tonight, hasn't it?
He sure has. 45 Lavoie, and even this 89 Jason Lee at the beginning of the game. These are people you don't normally hear, but you are hearing them a lot tonight because they're in on a lot of plays. They're doing a good job, and we have 3:15 to go in this fourth quarter, and that Hank Richards, that penalty on Deering has really taken some momentum. So with a third down, second down, you can probably expect to see a pass very shortly here. And that's what he's doing. No, it's a handoff to Richards. And reading him play nicely, but Richards got away from the first Thornton defender. And Richards turns a loss into a short gain, I believe. And that'll be Paul Spirito out of bounds, forcing him out. And that'll be a third down and three yards to go with 2:52 to go for Deering. So this is a big third down play right here.
Going out of bounds stopped the clock, which is good news for Deering fans. 2:52 left now. Third down and 3 yards to go. The ball sits at about the 25. And that's, yeah, we'll call it the 25. Got a man in motion. He goes back to throw. McKenzie looking downfield. Sees Little. Throws it away. Throws it away. I guess Austin was in the vicinity, right? That's about it.
he was from here to the jetport about, but he was in the vicinity. No call that time, but like Roger said, Austin was coming back for the ball. McKenzie, if anything, he's shown the ability to get rid of the ball when he's had to and not being caught for a quarterback sack. So he's actually helped him with some yardage, not losing any yardage in that respect, and not getting a flag called on him, which is also important.
Big fourth down, and they go into that split back thing that they did for the touchdown. Let's see if the handoff is to Doherty again. Fourth down and about 3. And there it is to Doherty on the same play that they scored the touchdown. This time he's stopped, and it's going to be very close for the first down. I think he may have come up short, Andy, but it's close. Very, very close. Sickard on the tackle for TA. And he did not make it, but that was the very same play that they scored the touchdown on earlier. And when they went into that set, just had a feeling that's where they were going to go.
That was a good call. Good call by Coach Painchaud up here. Scott. Maybe you'll have a new job next year as a scout for these teams, right? Has picked that one right up out of the stands. And I'm sure the Thornton coaching staff must have picked it up because the play was this time, it was blocked off and read nicely. And we have 2:20 to go. Thornton Academy with the football. You can expect that they're going to be grinding out the time. Just giving the ball maybe up the middle, forcing Deering to use their timeouts in which they have. Yeah, with 2:05 to go and the clock still going. But we'll have, I believe, 2-minute warning. Well, minute 57. And it's second down. Brings up a second down and about 7 yards to go. Summers calling signal. The junior quarterback. Now up the middle once again. One more first down will definitely ice this football game. And that's what Thornton Academy wants to do. They want to tick off as much time as they can. Now Deering decides to call timeout. So it's going to be about a 3rd and 5, Raj, and that's a good spot for Deering to take a timeout.
Exactly. They figured to if they can hold them on this 3rd down, then they have forced the 4th down punt, and they will have one last shot at trying to get into the end zone. Of course, Thornton Academy has all the aces right now. They'll obviously run on 3rd down to get a few more seconds ticked off, and then depend on a Susie punt, and he's been very effective tonight. Good punting game, as we saw last year. Susie was very effective in that role. Dick Agresti is out there with the troops right now. We can see him talking to his people as the Deering coach comes off the field. Dick is still there talking to his guys. Wonderful year for Coach Agresti, coming after last year's sensational championship. And as we said before, and we'll say again, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And now Dick trots off the field, and Thornton Academy is ready to move on here. We have a 3rd down and 5. Sickard splits out on this side, but we're not expecting a pass. And a fumble. And let's see who recovers. Everybody says Deering, and it is Scott Summer on a keeper. And he gave up the football. And there's the break with 1:23 left to play. And Deering has one last shot at tying this thing and potentially winning this thing. Now the clock is running, Andy, with 1:18.
Oh, definitely. Now you're definitely going to see the ball up in the air. And you know you got to cover 84. DeSarno's got to be your first man you cover with Austin and Myatt, who's yet to really receive anything. Yeah, as McKenzie goes back, and Hank Richards has the football. There's the handoff, and McKenzie rolls his troops back. No huddle. They're going to go with it under a minute. Lee and Gonville, Rogers tells us, is on the tackle. 50 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10. There's a pass to the sidelines and caught by Myatt. And he did come down with it, and he's out of bounds. That will be at the 23, I believe, yard line.
Not enough for the first down, though, Andy, but it does stop the clock, and we have a 3rd and about 6. And the ball is down about the 23-yard line or so, 24. And there's still plenty of time. Now DeSarno comes out of the lineup. Marston is in. With 45 seconds and a 3rd down. I'm not going to call it. Austin is split on the left. That's a good possibility. Myatt goes in motion. And over the middle to Austin. Intercepted. Cutting directly in front of Austin. A beautiful play by Susie. And he's still on his feet and goes out of bounds. Talk about a backbreaker, guy.
Well, sure enough, it was going Austin. And Susie comes up with a big interception that should ice this thing. for Thornton Academy, a big interception, the second one of the night for Thornton Academy, the first one being by Summers. They also dropped a couple of interceptions, but Susie comes up, steps in front of Austin, and we have 31 seconds to go, and that should just about drive the nail into the coffin in this one. 12-6, Thornton leads it, 31 seconds to go. And if Thornton holds on to this, this will be the 11th straight win for Thornton Academy, dating back through last year, Raj.
Yeah, it has been an interesting game. You know what? This has been a lot of fun when you stop and think back on what we've seen here tonight. Got a little ragged probably with all the fumbles and so forth going back and forth here in the latter stages, but it's still a good football game and a good way to kick off our 87th season. It looks as though, unless some other great surprises take place, and you never know, but it looks as though TA will be coming up with, as Andy said, their initial win of this year and their 11th straight, running over 2 years. And we've got a timeout right now. Susie timed his move perfectly. Andy called it, said that it would be going to Austin over the middle, and that's exactly what they tried to do. Susie cut in front of him and ran the ball back out to the 39-yard line, and that's where TA has the ball, and they just fall on it. Big pile-up. Actually, that just takes more time than anything else, and they start unstacking things as clock continues to run. We're down to 18 seconds. I don't think there's anything that Deering can do to stop the clock at this point. And they don't even have to snap the ball, as Andy says. Just let it run out here. We're down to 5 seconds, down to 4, and it's history. And a happy group of Thornton Academy players, cheerleaders, fans, supporters out there as they see their defending champions start the 87th season on the right foot in a hard-fought and hard-won and well-deserved victory here at Deering Memorial Field. Our final score, once again, Thornton Academy 12, the Deering Rams 6. And Andy and I will be back in just a couple of minutes with a wrap-up of tonight's action right after this commercial break. Okay, our post-game show is going to wrap things up as we take a look at the Deering team just kneeling and being talked to by their coaching staff in the middle of the field. Andy's got some stats, and we'll wrap it up with that. Andy, what do you got?
Okay, our statistician again has been Albert Coulomb, and he's been able to come up with these stats for him. First of all, rushing-wise, Bill Susie led the Thornton Academy attack with 69 yards, and Terrell had 43. On the Deering end of it, on the ground, Hank Richards with 51 yards were the rushing leaders for both teams. In the passing department, McKenzie for Deering was 4 for 13 for 79 yards. He also had 2 interceptions. And Chris Summers 2 for 4 for 38 yards. Scoring went like this. Redmond had a 2-yard run for 6-0 Thornton Academy lead in the second. The third quarter, Summer had a 5-yard run. 12-0. Both conversions have failed. Deering came back in the fourth with Doherty to make it 7-yard run. 12-6 Thornton Academy. Their conversion failed, and that's going to end at 12-6. Gonville did have a reception for 38 yards. DeSarno had 3 of them for 47 for Deering. And again, Raj, Deering had their chances to pull this one out. They had the ball a few times on some costly Thornton mistakes down in their Thornton's end of the field, and were unable to capitalize, and that's the bottom line. Can you capitalize on mistakes?
Yeah, and it was an interesting finish because both of those teams were kicking each other around with fumbles and interceptions and everything else. We saw it all tonight, and it was a good game, good way to start the season. Well, we've got to come up with an 11th player, Andy, and we haven't really made our choice. Seriously, boy, I don't know. I would think that we've got to consider. I will throw out some names at you, Andy, and see what you think. I'm going to throw out Scott Terrell, number 21, as a running back. I'm going to throw out Lance Lavoie on defense, number 45. I'm going to throw out Bill Soucy, as a boy who filled in at fullback tonight. And I'm going to add for some work early in the game, Jason Lee. And I'm sure we could come up with a half dozen others, but
well, this again, you know, a lot of players were involved in this. It's a shame you have one guy the award, but I like the Bill Soucy nomination because of the fact that, you know, he was kind of, you know, this is kind of he kind of comes into the game now. You know, as of Wednesday, he's not the fullback, and now he is the fullback. He's a leading rusher in the game. He grinds out the yardage when they needed it. Then he comes up with a big interception to really put the nail in the coffin. And his punts earlier in the game drove Deering inside their own 20-yard line. I think that's good enough for us. I think we can both agree on that. So I think our 11th player award for this first Thornton Academy game will be Bill Soucy, who is a senior. And congratulations to him.
Right, and we heartily endorse that selection. Okay, Bill Soucy. Tomorrow being Saturday, Andy and I will be at Madison for the Old Orchard Beach Madison game as both of those teams kick off their season as well. And hopefully you'll be catching these contests during the course of the week. And we hope that you enjoy our efforts as much as we enjoy doing these games for you. So for our cameraman, Gary Savage, and our statistician, Al Coulombe, this is Andy Poirier and yours truly, Roger Painchaud, thanking you very much. We will be back on Saturday afternoon, and we hope that you will be watching us faithfully through the rest of the season and enjoying high school football right along with us. Thank you, and good night.